interview with President Trump. A lot to discuss with my panel, so let's jump right into it. Fox News contributor Dan Bongino, along with civil rights attorney podcast host Leo Terrell, join me now. All right, guys, let's talk about law and order. It's a favorite topic, isn't it? The president, when I asked him about what he would do on election night, should there be, as has been threatened and reported, riots, what would he do? And he said it's called insurrection. What do you think of that, Dan? Sorry.
Well, the Insurrection Act, one of those tools that was invoked by George H.W. Bush, the LA riots. It's not, it's not something from another planet. It's one of the tools he has. He also has probably 100,000 plus federal agents, so probably all be on duty on election night. And the reason, Judge, is because the left is super violent. I mean, they just are. The far left. I'm not talking about all Democrats, obviously, but the radical left has a record from Antifa to BLM of street violence. If you were outside of the White House the night of his acceptance speech, I was there, I was blessed enough to go, and you walked outside of the gate of the White House, what you witnessed was not a protest in any way, shape, or form. You witnessed a bunch of deranged lunatics attacking people, calling my wife horrible. And my wife was an immigrant from Colombia being attacked by a bunch of young white women, calling her a disgrace to womanhood. I got it all on tape. I put it on my show. I mean, it was in no way a protest. Say hello to your dog. I just got one that says pretty awesome. Love that. Maybe mine will bark too. But what you were witnessing there was not a protest. It was a bunch of raving lunatics. Here, one more point I want to make on this. Judge, you don't have to take my word for it that the left is planning chaos on election night. Please don't. I need everybody to go and look up the Transition Integrity Project, okay? And look up Defeat This Info. Those are two groups in a project the left is working on. In those documents, these leftist groups are already stating, Judge, and I'm quoting them, these are not my words, that they're preparing for a street fight after the election, not a legal one. Those are their words, not mine.
Street fight, who they say they are. Dan, that's a street fight if the president wins. What about if Biden wins? Are they okay? Or are they
yeah, that's important. Yes, I'm sorry, that's important.
All right,
if the president wins,
Leo,
yes.
let's talk. Leo, what do you think about the Insurrection Act on election night if something terrible happens?
Well, first of all, let me make sure I get straight up and get ready. Okay, now let me give you the answer. Here's the answer. As a civil rights lawyer, the president has the right to protect voters' rights. So when he talks about using federal agents, he's perfectly within the rights of the Constitution to protect people's right to vote. If people are going to be intimidated from the voting pool of booths, the president can use federal agents to protect their civil rights. Voting is a civil right, so I think it's no-brainer. Those who are arguing that the president can't use federal agents, they're wrong about the law, period. He's within his right to do so.
Right. There's no question about it, but in fact, I remember last year on election night, actually it was the next morning, I remember how crazy it was in Manhattan, and I remember the police kind of lined up shoulder to shoulder on certain streets. But let's talk a little bit more about the protesters and those people who are out there. And when I asked the president, I said, who are they? And he said, apparently, he said, well, there are people that we're looking at right now. He said, and you'll be finding out pretty soon who they are. What does that tell you, Dan?
That they're organized. Listen, Judge, I still keep good sources in the law enforcement community I came from before I started doing news commentary. They're all telling me unequivocally, by the way, these aren't partisan actors. Honestly, I don't even know their politics. I've never asked them. But they've all told me that this stuff has been organized. And Judge, this goes back to those early attacks about, what was it, 3-4 months ago after the George Floyd incident at the White House.
Yep.
That the people they saw showing up there had documented histories in the past of organizing these types of things. The left wants you to believe these are just random acts of rage because of some police brutality incident or the Floyd incident. But a lot of these riots that were happening at night, I'm not talking about the protests in the day that remained peaceful. The stuff that was happening at night, make absolutely no mistake, was organized chaos.
And you know,
yeah, it is organized chaos. And by the way, where do you find pallets of bricks in the middle of a pandemic, a COVID pandemic? And, 20 police, and Leo, I want to go to you with this. 20 police chiefs have resigned since then. And three of them African American. Carmen Best from Seattle. I think we have some shots of that. We have a full screen of that. Carmen Best from Seattle and LaRon Singletary, Rochester, and Renee Hall from Dallas. I mean, you would think that African American police chiefs would be something that people who are interested in racial justice would be supportive of. But they're calling for their resignations as well through more liberal and more leftist mayors and commissioners.
I'm so glad you asked me that question. And they talk about systemic discrimination. They hate black police chiefs. The point is very simple.
Right.
You cannot please criminals. These guys are extremists. So all these Democrats yelling systemic discrimination in Chicago, Seattle, you got black mayors, you got black police chiefs, you got black police officers. Judge, this is not 1960. These guys you cannot please. They're criminals. And Joe Biden has made a deal with the devil because he thinks they're going to vote for him. They don't care about Joe Biden. They just want chaos. That's all they want is chaos.
Well, he's got some surprise coming. But anyway, guys, stay right there. Is the left playing politics with the coronavirus vaccine? We're going to debate that next with Dan and Leo in just a moment. Stay